Yeah, I think it's not surprising really that they've had to speak out of this, because that's the way in which the mayor's been conducting these affairs very publicly. And that's why I think they're upset, because, they feel that Cressida Dick is a woman, whichever you might think of her, of duty. If she'd been asked to leave, if it had been done in the right way, perhaps when there was those contract negotiations back in September, this could have been done in an entirely different way. There could have been succession planning for the contract when it was due to be up this year, and those conversations could have happened much more collegiately. But it does seem a little bit like Sadiq Khan, instead of taking on, the problems with the leadership of the Met, is distancing himself entirely from the police. Now, he has a leadership responsibility here as well, but this very public way in which this has been put in Cressida, whatever failings we may assign to her, he's completely distanced himself from that. He's made the Met something wholly separate from him as the Mayor of London. And that's why I think it's unacceptable. Now, Sadiq Khan talked a lot about the way in which in the UK we police with consent. And that is very important. But it seems like the police at times are policing without his consent. And the way in which he's handled this has only really strengthened those feelings within our serving force.
In saying that, we all know that the Home Secretary, Priti Patel, had all but lost confidence in her as well. We think she only essentially got that extension to her term because of the Prime Minister. At the end of the day, policing leaders need to be accountable to elected officials, don't they?
Absolutely. So I don't think anybody's, suggesting that Cressida Dick doesn't need to be accountable. But Sadiq Khan is also accountable as well. And if he had said at that time, back in September, that he had no faith in Cressida Dick, privately as part of those discussions, there could have been a plan for her to go this year. And I do believe if he had said that, it would have been completely, there would be no way she could continue. So that we can't suggest that it's the Prime Minister or the Home Secretary. If the Mayor of London doesn't have faith in the Commissioner, she has to go. And that could have been done in those negotiations in September much more neatly and given us much more time to have succession planning in place. Because at this time, it feels like we're in a bit of chaos now, where we have to quickly apply. Now, the very public nature in which this is done, are we going to lose those outstanding applicants who may see the Met as, something that is perhaps untouchable at the moment? So we may have lost good applicants, which is a real shame as well. But I think that's the problem for me, is just the way in which this has been done. And the way now it feels like Sadiq Khan is turning away from any culpability from the mistakes of the Met. And I think that's what's making police officers angry, because they're as angry as any one of us at the failings of the Met. They are as angry and sickened as some of those stories as any one of us. But it feels like they're being slightly separated by this Mayor at the moment. And at the moment, I think we all need to, anyone that is to do with the leadership of the Met, us on the GLA, need to look at this, be accountable and think this is not good enough, and stand up and say, I want to play a part in the change. And I don't think what's happened so far is good enough.
And just very finally, Emma, on that, does this person, whoever takes over, need to be from outside the Met? Do you think that will be helpful, given that a large degree it was Cressida Dick's CV or previous actions that weighed heavily on her time in office?
I don't think necessarily the candidate has to be within or outside the Met. The Commissioner has to be a very special person with a very special set of skills. And I think looking at the scale of change that needs to happen, looking at the scale of the issues we have in the Met, we cannot discount anyone at the moment. And yes, we need somebody that, if they are from the Met, they can't be afraid of making that change. And they also have to have the authority within the Met and the ability to go in and change things. But I don't think that necessarily the next commissioner has to be within or without the Met. I don't think that we should, we may not get that many applicants, Darren, at the moment, after the way in which the current commissioner is being treated. So let's not rule any out.